Oh. Alright. Let's show us what's in the box. Top secret.
First one is for Grizz.
Oh.
What?
Hang on. What do we got? Dead.
Keep going, man. You're doing good.
Yes!
Dude, you punched the fuck out of that,
dude.
man.
Holy fucking shit!
So good. Yo, Captain Pear.
I didn't know what was going on there.
Man. Fucking got him.
Fucking got him, dude.
Holy shit. Dude, good game. Fucking good game.
Are you ready?
I knew it!
Cap, look at my fish.
Oh, wow.
It's my little bite. Ready? Bitch.
Always steal those kisses from you. Always have to steal those kisses from you. Always have to steal those kisses from you. Always have to steal my kisses from you. Oh. Alright. Let's show us what's in the box. Top secret.
First one is for Grizz.
Oh.
What?
Hang on. What do we got? Dead.
Keep going, man. You're doing good.
Yes!
Dude, you punched the fuck out of that,
dude.
man.
Holy fucking shit!
So good. Yo, Captain Pear.
I didn't know what was going on there.
Man. Fucking got him.
Fucking got him, dude.
Holy shit. Dude, good game. Fucking good game.
Are you ready?
I knew it!
Cap, look at my fish.
Oh, wow.
It's my little bite. Ready? Bitch.
Always have to steal those kisses from you. Always have to steal those kisses from you. Always have to steal those kisses from you. Always have to steal my kisses from you. Oh. Alright. Let's show us what's in the box. Top secret.
First one is for Grizz.
Oh.
What?
Hang on. What do we got? Dead.
Keep going, man. You're doing good.
Yes!
Dude, you punched the fuck out of that,
dude.
man.
Holy fucking shit!
So good. Yo, Captain Pear.
I didn't know what was going on there.
Man. Fucking got him.
Fucking got him, dude.
Holy shit. Dude, good game. Fucking good game.
Are you ready?
I knew it!
Cap, look at my fish.
Oh, wow.
It's my little bite. Ready? Bitch.
Always have to steal those kisses from you. Always have to steal those kisses from you.
his sleep kind of goes to shit. And he's actually pretty good at self-settling. It's just little things like, again, his teething, or he gets really fucking
all
sick.
those little things that fuck
you know,
around. Eh?
Otherwise, he sleeps pretty fucking good. Like, you know, and we haven't had to sleep train him or anything. So, you know.
We're live.
We're like, oh, fuck yeah.
Chad heard a little bit about,
you know?
yeah.
So
A bit
Cap
of a
is the
fucking
new
data
WA Premier, eh, Capo? Congratulations.
We're announcing
mate.
it here live on fucking twitch.tv. I am Mark McGowan too.
They're actually changing the name to the captain of Perth, though. It's not Premier anymore. So
Yeah, well, they should have really done that a while ago, in all honesty. But you know, it's just how things are. But Sukai, hope you're going well, mate. You legend, you bloody legend. Now a bit late, so should we just fucking dive straight into it?
Yeah, let's
Do it,
do
baby.
it. Oh, I haven't started recording yet. give me 1 minute.
Okay. Well, take your time. It's all good. Okay.
That's the wrong one there as well. Oh,
hit the fucking gym. Show me those guns. Super.
Okay, let's go.
I didn't get into that, and I feel like shit because I had an afternoon sleep instead because I was hell tired.
I've been meaning to try and get back into the gym myself. I can make it work.
All right. Are we ready?
Do it. I'm ready.
Good.
Hang on.
In 3.
Can you hear that?
Yeah,
Cool. All right.
sounds good
Go.
too. All right, from the top. In 3, 2, 1.
Bloody g'day. How you freaking doing? Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Oceanic Gaming Radio Podcast. This is episode 57. It is the 29th of the 5th, 2023. My name is Captain Perth, and alongside me is Grizzly Gaming 86 and Pav Loverface. Fellas, gentlemen, how are we? Good to see you. It's been a little bit of we had a bit of a break last week.
Sheesh.
But
I've
yeah, we're
spoken
back.
to you guys for 2 weeks. It's too long.
Sheesh.
I know. It's too long. It's too long.
You know that I say that and my daughter cringes now.
Yes.
That's a thing of the past, apparently. It's
Yes.
fucking old news, man.
I can't believe I just did that. Don't clip it.
Oh, that's a
I still
meme.
do it.
That's one of those memes that those young people talk about.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
It's
Yeah.
crazy how fucking quick they go through the fads, mate. Tell you what. Like,
Yeah, well-
I swear, much faster than us back in the day.
just feel like I'm caught in the tsunami that is that, because I feel like I was able to keep up with it to some degree, you know, when I didn't have a child. Now I like see all these little fucking memes and shit that pop up on Instagram and TikTok, and I'm like, what the hell is this?
See,
Like, I've
what
got
will
this
happen,
one.
mate? When Ted gets in his teenage years, you'll be a fucking
Yeah.
hip dad. You'll know what's going on. You'll
Like,
be...
Dad. Like I've got
Yeah.
this. Like, I don't know what's happened to it because I like sometimes I just lie in bed and smash a bit of Instagram, like you know, like the TikTok
Reels. Yeah.
fucking
Is that what it's
carousel
called?
or whatever.
Reels.
Well, yeah, reels. And I've fucked my algorithm real bad because now it's like just this. I get all these videos of these people who do like psych videos of them like playing musical notes, and then it turns into a Weezer song. Like, it's like-
Really? That sounds
just be
good.
like, it is good, but it's like it's probably a bit too much. It's
Dude,
like,
I actually, you know what? TikTok is pretty fucking good with their algorithm. So my what I see on TikTok is drumming videos, gym videos, Tears of the Kingdom videos, and Elden
Yeah.
Ring videos, and that's pretty much all I get
do you
on
want
there.
Tears of the Kingdom videos?
Oh, I like seeing all the crazy shit people are doing. Like the vehicles and stuff they make are fucking insane.
Yeah, I love like.
I mean, I don't mind about spoilers. Mate. I'll get there.
Oh,
Probably won't
man.
get there for another couple of years anyway.
That sucks, man. The fucking story's actually really good. Like,
Is it good? Is
yeah.
it?
Yeah,
You loving
it's a shame you're busy. Yeah, no, I am fucking. I am preferring it in all aspects to Breath of the Wild. So
Have you finished it yet, Kat? Finished the main
I'm through a
story?
fair chunk. Like, actually, before we dive into this, I want to ask Pav how he's going first because I feel we're going into gaming territory. So let's fucking Pav, tell me about how you had a really big weekend again.
Guys, it's been a big one. Look, this weekend not too bad in the grand scheme of things. It was very meeting heavy. Lots of stuff in preparation of Pixel Expo that's coming up very very soon.
Dude,
I think
nice.
Didn't you have some wrestling thing either
Okay.
last weekend or the weekend
the
before?
weekend before was a big one, like a big one.
Now, hang on. Pixel Expo, Pav, when is that?
Pixel Expo is on the first weekend of August, I believe. I think it's 4th
cool,
and 5th
okay.
or so.
I thought it was sooner than that, which scared me immensely.
I think we are
It's like not bad.
68 days away.
Okay, so a couple of months. Well,
Yeah.
watch this space because the boys, something's a brewing. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. I won't say much more than that.
There'll be a
Something is
special
a brewing
announcement soon.
in our
There'll be a very
pants.
special.
Guys, have you heard of the Aussie Noob before? He's a good bloke. The Aussie
He's a
Noob.
fucking legend.
Bloody
He's a good
Aussie
bloke, real good bloke.
Great guy.
But okay, so and then now tell us about the wrestling thing.
Okay, wrestling had my debut as a wrestling MC. It's pretty good.
So good.
Ended up only doing a very, very little, just kind of soaking up the atmosphere and getting a vibe of it. I realized that I had signed up for deathmatch wrestling,
Oh,
which is
Jesus.
more hardcore than I would
They
have
kill
ever
each other.
imagined.
that seems
What?
hectic.
Look, you wouldn't think that, but there was a lot. Like I planned to I was thinking about bringing some video and photos and video of what I filmed, but I decided against it just because how graphic it was. There was blood everywhere.
Like actual blood.
Yeah, there's
What?
yeah, like I thought there'd be like some blood packs or whatever. No. Real blood dripping from their faces with pools on the ground. It was no
Dude,
ring death.
That
match
seems
wrestling.
really unhygienic.
It was
Far out,
metal
man.
as hell.
Oh man,
That's very cool.
Okay.
So, Pav, did you have to learn some of the wrestling moves, mate? Like the fucking pole driver and all those, or what?
I did do a little bit of research, but I ended up not needing it for this one. I didn't do any commentating or anything. I was the
Okay.
guy that went up after the matches and doing like a quick interview and be like, "So how did you feel about your fight?"
Oh, dude, I love that.
That was
I
fun.
would love to see a little Pav breakdown of that for sure. Man,
yeah,
I suppose the only other issue, Pav, is you're gonna have to learn everyone's signature moves, like all the
Yes.
fucking all the
That was
guys.
very cool. It was
You
very
know,
cool.
like the fucking McFlurry, Twisty McDog.
This might sound weird, Pav, but I could actually imagine you in wrestling.
I was talking to the guys and considering maybe like looking at being a manager for a wrestler.
Dude,
Okay.
that's
know,
kind of
They
rad.
they come out into the ring with them and like they hype up all their promo videos and stuff. I was
Get
like,
him cracking.
I can
Obligatory
find
have
me
in
the
the car
hell up.
with the wrestler on running next to the car video for sure. You know, a la Rocky. That's going to happen for sure. Well, that sounds
Oh, yes.
fucking awesome, Pav. That sounds really cool.
It was such a cool weekend. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd do something like that or be at an event like that. But yeah, very cool. There will be more. I'll tell you more stories after the next one.
Hell yeah, dude.
Sounds amazing, mate.
Big fan of that.
It was good.
Yeah. I didn't do an awful lot because my son was like insanely sick. He got like that's why we had to cancel last episode, by the way, for those listening at home. Basically that evening I was like, I can't go online. Ted is like super crook. Had to take him to hospital and just all that
Sheesh,
kind of
dude.
shit. So he ended up having we knew he had a viral infection because that's what the doctor told us, but they did a swab and he had 2 viruses at the same time. So
Double whammy, mate.
He bloke's a freaking little mad lad. So yeah, it was full on. But just the whole week leading up after that was pretty full on. Just it kind of felt like he was a newborn all over again because it just needed so many cuddles and a lot of attention and just was very sooky and a lot of
Man,
lot
there
of
is some sickness
sadness.
going around Perth right now,
Dude,
too.
it's out of
so
control.
many people are getting sick, mate.
It is
My boss
out
has actually
of
got
control.
COVID right now.
Oh,
and
man.
most people have got sick kids and things. So
Yeah, well, Mia's sister's got COVID at the moment as well. She just reported that this evening, and I mean, I'm pretty sure me and Mia just are permanently sick at the moment. I don't think we've not been sick for about 5 months. So, But anyways, that's just a personal choice anyway. So definitely shit going around at daycare, and I think I've dodged this one, touch wood, for the most part. Mia's copped it, but I'm hoping that I will continue to. I've been taking a daily immune booster, Grizz, so I think I'm definitely going to be fine, okay?
I'm on
Bit
2
of zinc.
vitamin C tablets a day, Capo. That seems like the go, I reckon.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, mate, you'll be yeah, you'll be fine, mate. You'll be bright as rain. I was trying to think of an orange joke. I was gonna be like, you'd be like, orange. I glad I was having my vitamin C. My brain wasn't quite connecting it.
Look,
But
we've had 2
anyways,
weeks off, mate, so we can't expect to be straight. Back
Yeah,
into
Pav,
the.
don't shake your head, man. I reckon that was actually not too
Months.
bad on the fly. But yeah, so
I
that was what we
vitamin
did.
C. What you did there?
Hey,
Holy!
mate, have you got some children we don't know about, mate? Jesus, that is some serious dad joke. All right, love it. But yeah, I also played I'm playing as much Tears of the Kingdom as I possibly can squeeze into my fucking day.
How many hearts you got, Cap?
Oh fuck, that is a good question. I actually, do you know what? So there's this thing that happens at the beginning that kind of requires you to have a certain number of hearts. So I thought that thing would be repeated throughout the game. So I actually put a fair few hearts, like bought a fair few hearts with the shrine thing. And then I was like, I haven't seen one of those fucking things since. So then I just started putting it all into stamina. So I wouldn't.
So do you get?
Clue.
I don't know how it works. Do you get the choice for hearts or stamina or something? Do you, or is that?
Yeah, just like Breath of the Wild. So, you
That's
go into a
right. It's been a
shrine,
long
you get
time.
you get a mote of light or some shit, and then you get 4 of those, and then you can buy either a heart or a stamina upgrade. And I mean, the stamina upgrades are like so much more worth it. It just opens up your traversal possibilities, tenfold. But
But imagine there's probably places that you can't go to without some of the stamina, right? Well, maybe not. In
in
this
all
one, 'cause
honesty,
you can
no, not
fly.
really. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, if you've got enough like other resources or just like access to stuff, depending on where you are in the game, I'm kind of trying to be fairly vague, but ability to sort of cook up certain recipes with your Zonai kind of vehicle production. You can fucking go anywhere, mate. Anywhere you like. But I don't know. It's funny because despite having all this access to all this shit, I'm still running around on foot all the time just because I see all these things that people are making on TikTok and shit, and they've made these freaking mech suits with like really intricate freaking propulsions. Oh, dude, it's out of control. And then I've just got like 2 sticks fucking fused together with a fucking fan on the back of it. And I'm like, yep, that'll do, pig. So I'm not pushing it to the limits by any means.
What about your horses, though, Cap? You're surely you're riding horses, around
Dude.
the
Do you know
place,
what?
eh?
Horses are just fucking annoying.
Are they?
They have a really low turning circle, and they just get in the way. In all honesty, so
Now, Cap,
yeah.
I did say that I would reveal this in the next podcast. The thing that passes over from Breath of the Wild 1 to Breath of the Wild 2 is
your horse.
your horses. Yes,
Which I think is
your horses.
a really nice thing, in all honesty.
Yeah,
like
that
I,
is
I
cool.
really like that. I think it's like just the right amount of crossover content. So I don't really know what else they could possibly have done, because I mean, obviously all your skills get reset and all that kind of shit because it's a video game. You got to start from scratch. So I think that was a nice thing, because I had my freaking horse Chungus in the in the fucking stable. I was like, wait a second. I was like, so there's a horse called Chungus in here. What the fuck? It's my horse from Breath of the Wild. I thought it was really funny.
Was he a fucking
realized,
Chungus or what? Was he a big boy?
Mate, he's a fucking Chungus. Yeah, big time.
Because you can get some pretty cool horses, can't you, in Breath of the Wild 1? You can get like, is there like some different ones? Can you get a Pona?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah,
now
you
off
could
the
get a
top of my head.
Pona. I thought a Pona was unlocked with an amiibo, which is kind of like a bit of a Nintendo cop out. But I mean, they got to try and sell those amiibos somehow. But there was certain things, like there was the Lord of the Forest horse that was like a weird glowing horse, and there was a couple of other cheeky ones.
That's cool.
So there's plenty of shit in there, but there's way more like kind of what do you call it, horses and shit in this iteration, and there's just more shit in general, dude.
More shit, yeah.
Oh, dude, and it's so much better fleshed out. I think like it's
so
still.
Cap, if you had to pick one game, Elden Ring or Tears of the Kingdom, which game would you pick, mate? Which game would you pick?
Do you know what? I'd actually probably pick Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, sheesh.
And the only reason I
Yeah.
say that is because at least, like, if I had to pick one game to play for the rest of my life, I'm not going to want to
Mm.
play a fucking tedious, like, Dark
Yeah.
Souls, game. I want to play something that
Yeah.
I can probably relax to.
I
But,
was actually
uh,
relieved when I finished Elden Ring because I was like, thank fuck.
yeah,
I don't
dude,
have to, like,
150
grind
hours
my
and
head
like it's
against the
finally
wall.
over. It felt like
Yeah.
dropping the fucking ring in the Mordor. Like, I reckon I was covered in dirt and everything. Like, I was an
Yeah.
absolute hermit by the end of that. But yeah, honestly, dude, like Tears of the Kingdom, I feel like they've done a really good job. It's not a perfect game. It's really not a perfect game, but it's such a fucking good game. And they've
So
iterated
this
on Breath
is
of the Wild so well.
this is the Tears of the Kingdom podcast. Now, I suppose I better go play it so that I can be on the same
Yeah.
level as you.
Yeah,
Enjoyment.
mate. Just I know you said you're gonna wait, but fucking just go.
Dude,
and
I
do
actually,
it.
you know what it is, Cap? And I'm going to be honest here. I just am not a big Zelda fanboy, dude. I am so fucking excited for Diablo 4, by the
Yeah,
way.
that's
Like,
fair.
that is
That's fair.
I am very, very pumped up for that game because I think you were telling me before that you grew up playing the Zelda games. You know, we had a very
Yeah.
shitty old PC and we had the original Diablo 1. We had we got Hellfire, which was the expansion to that, which wasn't made by Blizzard, by the way. It was made by Sierra or something random.
Oh,
did it.
yeah?
And then I played all the Diablos subsequent to that. So I'm very, very excited.
Oh man, that's
the
yeah. I
G4
mean, but
release.
I played a lot of those games, but Zelda was like one of those games because my mum and dad played the original Zelda, so
Mm.
it was kind of like just one of those like comfort games, and it's just always been a part of like mum's always gotten me like the Zelda games as
That's
like
cool, dude. Yeah.
thing.
yeah.
I was a ring boy when I was like fucking 4 years old or some shit, and as a present for being the ring boy, I got Majora's Mask. Yeah,
Hey,
boy.
that's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah, freaking good gig. So yeah, I
Big
mean, it's got a special place in my heart. But I mean, I am very excited for Diablo 4 as well,
Yeah.
Grizzly. Like that's available in like
Are
next
we doing
Tuesday.
How's Your Gaming Going now? Am I talking about what I've
I
been
mean,
playing?
wait as
or
well.
not?
It feels like we're
Yeah.
definitely doing it.
We are doing it. In prep for the Diablo 4 release, Cap, I've actually started playing, which was only released, I think it's about 3 or 4 days ago. is
Hang on,
the
before you do anything,
D3
Grizz, can I just do one thing?
Yes. Go.
Hey, Grizz, how's your gaming going? All right, continue.
Game's got pretty good. Dude, I've been playing Diablo 3 hardcore seasonal character for the
Man,
last 2 or 3 days.
What is the
Yeah.
state of Diablo 3? How does it feel?
Dude, it's actually changed a lot since I've last played. Like,
In what ways?
there's new maps and enemies, and there's this weird fucking tablet thing that you need to unlock that gives you like passives and stuff. Like, there's legitimately new stuff in there that I hadn't seen before.
Okay.
And it's probably about 5 or 6 seasons now since I've played the game. So I don't know whether
Right.
that's stuff that was released for this season or whether this is stuff that was rolled out in the previous seasons that they've retained. So
Right. Okay.
either way,
Cool.
man, like the game just feels nice to play. And
Yeah.
like I enjoy the way they do the lore in that game. Like you see a scroll down on the floor and you pick it up, and then as you're grinding monsters, some guy's like talking in your ear going, and the sandworms were coming out of the sand, just like explaining the
Yeah.
lore behind this enemy you've just
the only issue
killed.
I have with lore like that when I'm playing a game like Diablo is like because I have such a tiny fucking pea brain, I can't focus on two things at once. So I'm trying to fucking kill fucking. There's literally monsters in Diablo 3 called bogans. So I'm killing bogans, and then I'm also hearing Deckard Cain freaking tell me about how the Lord of Terror. Like
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
trying to combine the two, and it's just not going to happen. But I agree with you. I think it's nice to have that blend. It's a good way to deliver story, right?
Now I am on a mission here, Cap.
Yeah.
No one is playing Diablo 3 right now. If you look at the Twitch directory for Diablo 3, it's fucking dead doors, which also means the competitive seasonal leaderboards are going to be dead doors. I've always had the drive to get on the top 100 seasonal leaderboard. And I'm going to try to do it before fucking Diablo 4 drops. So I'm going to be sinking.
I'm
some
surprised
time
no
in
one's
there.
playing it because I feel like in the lead up people would be playing that game, but maybe they're playing Diablo 2 remastered in prep.
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a good game.
That's cool though. I think I'm gonna. I mean, I've got it pre-ordered because I'm a freaking loser. I don't know why I pre-ordered, but I pre-ordered it because I want to play the beta from memory, and I did. And
Did
really
you get
enjoyed my
the
time
wait?
with it.
What did you pre-order, Cap? Have you got the one that gives you the 4 days early access?
Do you know? I'm going to open up BattleNet right now. I'll tell you exactly what I've got.
Yeah.
I think if you pre-ordered it, you get it regardless. I mean, I
So
think
the
Sukai's
game
saying
releases
that.
on the 6th, but if you buy like the digital deluxe version, you get it on the 2nd.
Right.
You get it
Did
4
you-
days early.
Oh, hang on. It says, mate, maybe what the fuck do I have? I don't know what I have, dude. How do I find that out? I have no idea how to check that. Anyways, I'll let you know. I'll figure it out. and
Let me know, babe.
Yeah.
The other
I
thing,
definitely
Cap,
threw it
that
over there.
that I did on the weekend that's non-gaming related. Well, there's 2 things that I want to tell you because this is our catch-up time as well. Okay, you podcasters just get to listen in while Cap and I have a good old chinwag.
Yeah.
Me and my wife introduced our kids to Lord of the Rings.
Oh, dude, rad.
We all sat down on Sunday afternoon and put the first Lord of the Rings extended version on and got some like snacks and watched it.
Dude.
And
yeah, huge fan of that. That's wicked. How did that go down? Was it
so
well
everyone
received?
loved it. Ada was a bit concerned that it was real. I guess when you're a kid
Oh,
and you don't
no,
know
yeah.
like whether movies are
Yeah.
real or not, she was like worried
Yeah.
that the orcs were going to come and fucking, you know.
Oh, dude, I can totally understand that. That makes sense. I mean, yeah. I mean, you know, when you're that age, everything just is fucking real. You know, it's like I think I sent you a video today, but like at the moment, Ted's just like besotted with the cats. He just can't believe that there's this thing called cats, and these fucking they are real and they're alive. And that's the thing. Like in his brain, it must just be like, holy shit, this is out of control. I do not understand how you can be alive. So I mean,
has he since he's been noticing furry animals, has he seen a dog since he's been awareness?
Loves dogs as well. He's just I just think he likes like dogs and cats a shitload, especially when like you know, food time, when we're trying to feed Ted and there's a cat outside, one of our cats is floating around outside, he is just gone. Like you cannot get any food into him. He's just like completely facing the other way. You're like, mate, come on, you're trying to have dinner here. But as soon as like we go to a cafe and there's a dog there, he's just losing his mind. He gets really excited, which is really cute actually. So it's nice. But yeah, so also I'm just
the other thing I wanted
looking
to tell you, Cap, before we jump into the main topics is I road tested for the first time my new drum kit on the weekend, mate. We had our first gig on it, which is why I also have a gaffer taped mic. Because I left the fucking my stand at my brother's house. But dude, new drum kit, holy shit, mate! Matt, big difference. It is like. It's absolute pleasure to play. I'm smitten by it. My new love. Yeah.
Yeah, freaking awesome, mate. Yeah, it looks really nice. Describe it to us, Chris. Give us a bit of an idea of what it is.
It's black and it's shiny, and it's that's pretty much it. It's black and shiny, and it's beautiful, mate. Made of pure maple. You look inside the shells, and it's all like mottled wood. It's just like a really nice, big fat drum sound too. You know, it's great.
Gorgeous, mate. Big fan of that. I need to get to a gig so I can hear it in person, to be quite honest. But
dude, mate, you need to get in there when stuff settles down.
I think I can make it work. But also, update. I just checked out on my BattleNet account. I have the standard edition, so I'll be playing next Tuesday, not this Friday, which is fine by me because I still have a lot of Tears of the Kingdom to play. So
very good, mate. Very good. Friday. Fuck, maybe I'll do a Friday night sesh.
Have you ordered the deluxe edition?
No, but I will. Yeah? I haven't ordered anything yet. Yeah.
This is coming from the guy who said he doesn't want to play any fucking early access before the game happens or anything like that. Like, you know, utter crap talking. Okay. Anyways, well, that's fine. But yeah, look,
you know who else is a real legend, Cap?
Yes.
Justin
Cook. Yeah. What a freaking bloke. Good bloke. Thank you for the raid, mate. Appreciate you big time. But yeah, welcome to the podcast. Speaking of podcast, we record this bad boy every Monday night, 7 p.m. AWST. And you can find us on Spotify or here where you are right now if you're watching this live on twitch.tv/Oceanic Gaming Radio. Big thanks to everyone listening from home, live, etc. But yeah, appreciate you. Also, thank you to our wonderful Patreons, who's just overall legends. Each week they just put money into our bank account for no good reason. So thank you for continuing to do that. You guys are as follows: Sukai, Moosey, Caging Runt, Sergeant Paul, Lee GD, J Libs, Brendan, and Daniel Fantastic. Excuse me. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. All right. Now, Grizz.
Yes,
we've got
sir.
a pretty big quest log today.
We do, mate.
Big in the sense that there's one topic on there that has a lot of assets, a lot of points, finer points that we're going to have to tweak and tweeze out. but otherwise it's actually technically only 2 points. But one of those points has many sub points. So look, firstly, because we've been away for 2 weeks, we're going to talk about Overwatch. That was technically last week, but we wanted to have a bit of a yarn about because I think we got some perspective, being vaguely gamers that have played Overwatch, and I think it's just interesting to talk about it in general. But there's also the PlayStation Showcase that happened last week, and a bunch of shizzle was either announced or re-announced. So a fair bit of stuff to talk about, Gris. Let's freaking open up the freaking quest log, baby. Okay. Grizzly Gaming 86.
Yes, sir.
Overwatch will no longer receive its much anticipated PvE update. How do you feel about that? Is it
So this was, I believe, it was announced, Cap, in 2019. They showed like a bunch of footage at BlizzCon, and they hyped it up. The idea behind it was that there would be like a kind of like a campaign that you would play through with the Overwatch characters. There would be skill trees. It would be replayability in it. You would level up your character, and you would kind of own that character as you would in an RPG kind of style. And that's kind of been put to bed. And they basically come out and said that they weren't going to do this for Overwatch 2. And I believe there was a bunch of announcements they made early on saying that we're going to switch over to Overwatch 2 and migrate all your cosmetics and stuff, and we're going to have this fantastic PvE content we're going to be bringing in as well. And that's part of moving across, because the engine and other things that we're integrating into that will allow us to do that. And they've now scrapped that off the radar. So honestly, Cap, I'm a little surprised with the announcement, and I've got some little alarm bells dinging off in the back of my head, which I'll be curious to get your opinions on those.
Absolutely.
What's your take?
Look, honestly, it doesn't surprise me coming from Blizzard. I mean, it's surprising that it's happened, but this as a decision, I don't think is outside of the realm of what Blizzard is capable of. I think Overwatch, I don't know what the numbers are like, but I bet you that they're not very good in terms of player retention and how many people are playing, probably even just from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2 and just ongoing player retention. I bet you it's not looking fucking pretty. So I reckon what happened was, the decision makers, probably the board, were looking at these numbers and saying, why are we shoveling time and effort into this game? And there's still a lot of shit to be done in this PvE update. Scrap that. Put this into caretaker mode. Do what we did with HOTS. Fuck off any future updates.
That's my take too, dude. I just really hope that this doesn't end up on the Heroes of the Storm list, where it's like they put a minimal dev team on it, just let it survive.
No, I think it will. I think it will go into caretaker mode now. I think this is like I think this is the initial kind of, I don't know, just warning sign. But on top of this, Chris, like, again, I haven't played Overwatch 2 very much. I played it a little bit when it first kind of came out, but I haven't really stuck my teeth into it recently. But from what I understand, the meta at the moment is just hot trash. So people aren't really thoroughly enjoying it. I think there's a big issue with balance. Like, I think the overall kind of meta is just, you get 1 or 2 shield tanks, and then just have your hit scan heroes like Widow or whoever else, and they're just like your main DPSs, and then everything else just gets shredded. Like, there's just no real proper solid matchmaking at the moment. And I think, in terms of competitive play, like, it's just a bit fucking boring because that's just the same meta everyone's running. It's just a bit shit.
Yeah.
So
look, let's talk about it as a whole. And I think you've kind of touched on it there, but I really feel like Blizzard with Overwatch 2 were trying to make this, as they did with Heroes of the Storm, they're an esports viable game, make it more competitive. They put 5 people on the team, the 2 tanks and everything else, and it just hasn't hit the mark for whatever reason. But there's a bunch of issues with this, Cap. The way that they did it, like, I feel like Overwatch 2 as a whole is an Overwatch 1.5, or maybe not even that.
I wouldn't even say that now. Jeez, it's barely freaking a patch update, really.
And you have a look at like their competitor, CSGO. Let's talk about that. CS2. Like, you see what they're doing in that space, and it's like a whole new shiny
that's a
game.
new game,
That's
new
a new
engine. Like it looks nice. I also like their approach really for CS:GO because they, considerate of the fact that people are coming from CS:GO to CS2 and maintaining that continuity between maps and preserving player knowledge and nostalgia, which I think is great. And obviously, kind of Overwatch has done a similar thing, but I think it's done it in the wrong way, where it's basically just the same game cut and copied and just added a few extra things, which they could have done in a patch,
Yeah,
and I'm especially now that we know that the PvE, theoretically, the reason that they were hanging their hat on the fact that it's okay to call this Overwatch 2 was this PvE mode. Really.
Yeah.
So now, what have we got? We've got a battle pass system, and some of the heroes have a new look, which is basically a skin, right? We've obviously changed the what do you call it? The not the meta, the structure of the teams, so I think it's 5 rather than 6 now or something like that, or vice versa. I don't fucking know, dude. It's Overwatch, but regardless, not an awful lot has changed. I can see, the outcry from the community has been pretty brutal.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, I mean, honestly, dude, I feel really bad for the developers because I think there's a lot of developers at Blizzard that, I think most of them are just doing their job and then they're having budget cut from their projects and there's not much they can do about it, But the thing is, these guys have to be the face of telling the fans, hey, sorry guys, but that PvE update that you're really looking forward to, you're not going to be getting that anymore.
They even had footage of the characters like shooting these NPCs and stuff back in that BlizzCon. But I just thought it was worth reiterating, Cap, that apparently there still is cooperative story missions and single player hero missions on the cards. However, the scale of what that looks like is
much reduced.
Is nothing. Yeah. So there's no talents or hero progression. It looks like there'll be these piecemeal little cooperative story missions that you can play as part of that content. So nothing what was promised previously. And I think it's probably worth saying, just reading out the statement here from the leadership team, they kind of said, we on the Overwatch leadership team didn't make this decision lightly. We love the world of Overwatch and have many new stories to tell. Moving in this direction gives us confidence that we can tell those stories, albeit in a different way than we originally communicated, which is, I think, his way of saying these piecemeal little PvE
that
cooperative
translates
things.
to me. We look forward to telling you these new stories with a lower budget. Like that's literally what it is. Like, and it's again, it sucks because they kind of skirt around the fact that's what's happening internally. Because I mean, obviously that's what's happening, but they can't outwardly be like, yeah, look, the board doesn't think that we should continue working hard on this game, and we're kind of diverting resources. So. But one thing I actually found really interesting about this, Grizz, is there was this kind of developer side note that came out from one of the lead devs on this team. And I don't know if you remember, but there was an early project by Blizzard called Project Titan, which was supposed to be this kind of sci-fi MMORPG to go alongside World of Warcraft. Now, we kind of knew that Overwatch was the culmination of efforts that went early into work on that game, and what Titan was supposed to be never eventuated, but I guess the story and the theme and the environment of that game kind of was what Overwatch became in the
Bled
end.
into Overwatch. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
interesting.
Now let me take that one step further. That's what we knew before all this happened, this most recent story.
Yeah.
So what it turns out was it looks like Overwatch 2 or Overwatch in general was Blizzard's way of trying to basically get the IP of Overwatch or Project Titan into the hands of users so that they could eventually have a 3-step process where they would have Overwatch, they'd have some kind of single player experience, and then they'd have an MMORPG all set within that universe. But that's almost certainly not going to be happening now.
No.
So, but I just thought it was really interesting because we were under the impression that Project Titan just died, but it was actually still alive, probably being maybe vaguely worked on or thought about.
Yeah.
But yeah, not really happening anymore.
Dude,
so
it's amazing. It's amazing listening to how quick Blizzard can change their tune on things. Because the start of the year, we had an episode where we were talking about how Blizzard were advertising for casting talent, particularly in the LGBTQ, trying to get people on board to cast their games, and inclusivity and other bits and pieces to really drive this PvP esports scene behind Overwatch 2. And now they're basically going, I just feel like they're, like you say, it's going to caretaker mode. And they did the same thing with Heroes of the Storm Cap. They were paying League and Dota players
Come
to
and
come
play their
across
game.
and play tournaments
Yeah.
in Heroes of the Storm.
But I think,
and
honestly, this is just like, this is what happens when people try to shoehorn esports into video games. I think a lot of times, sometimes it works. Obviously, Valorant kind of pulled it off for the most part. I don't know if it's as popular as CS:GO or anything, but I know a lot of people like and to play and or watch Valorant. But I think I remember there was a time in gaming when like games were coming out and they were being marketed as like the next esport, and that was the marketing. And I feel like Blizzard, like, so Heroes of the Storm and Overwatch, I do feel like they are from that era of game, and they have suffered for that, I think, really, because that's been their call for these games. You know, this is going to be the next esports. They weren't, and so the direction of the game was kind of completely different. And now they've suffered because they can't execute a proper, like, you know, I think a lot of people want some kind of single player experience from video games, you know, not all the time, but it's nice to have. Now they can't really execute it properly because they're fucking up what's already there. So, yeah.
Cap, I do feel like Blizzard have tarnished their name. Put it this way. Diablo 1, when that came out, and Diablo 2, when that came out, two of the greatest RPGs, action RPGs of all time. Diablo 4 is coming out in a bit, and I asked you in the last episode whether you thought Diablo 4 would be a contender for the Game of the Year, and you're like, hell no. There's no way. And I feel like and I kind of feel the same way. And we've kind of been stung a lot by Blizzard with Diablo Immortal, Overwatch 2, what they did with Warcraft 3, you know, pulling that from the shop and rebringing it out as a remaster and removing all the modding and everything else. And there's a bunch of legal stuff that sits behind, even with Dota 2 and using assets and things. And honestly, like, I do kind of feel like if Diablo 4 had been announced back in the heyday, we would all be fucking so pumped up about that release. People are pumped up. I'm pumped up about it.
Yeah, I mean, I am too, don't get me wrong.
There definitely is a bit of a, I don't know, Blizzard are not the golden child anymore.
Well, I mean, there's been a lot of things that have sort of revoked their golden child status. I mean, especially the allegations that came out in the last couple of years and just how they operate at a corporate level. But, you know, on top of all that, you're right. Like, I just feel like we've been served the same old shit sandwich from Blizzard, you know, time and time again recently. And, you know, we don't have those all-star devs that, you know, kind of slowly left the company. And then, you know, some of those all-star devs turned out to be real pieces of shit. You know, it's just Blizzard is a shadow of who they last were. And I mean, you know, the other day we were kind of joking about it in our Facebook chat about the monetization of Diablo 4. And literally the next day they announced another fucking battle pass accelerated path. So we thought there was only going to be like a standard battle pass and then a premium battle pass. No, they've also got the accelerated battle pass, which gives you extra cosmetics and even more levels. So it's just, man, this is just the reality of Activision, aka KB these days.
I do think Diablo 4 is going to be amazing, though. I hold extremely high hopes for this game. Everything that I've seen and read, even the end game bits that I've seen, I can tell that I'm going to be sinking significant hours into it.
Do you know what's going to suck about Diablo 4 is that the whole game's internal success is going to be measured by how many battle passes they sell, not how many copies they sell. Because the whole, like, this is the other reality of video games these days is everyone wants a game as a service because it's ongoing monetization.
Yeah.
If Diablo 4 doesn't pump out the battle passes, it's just not going to be considered a hit by Activision.
It's interesting, Cap, because the Diablo 3 monetization actually failed. I don't know if you remember that. They released the game as a once-off payment. They wanted to have a real money auction house where you could pay real money for items. And it encouraged this, basically, people to farm. They had like kids in India farming fucking legendaries and putting them up. Yeah. And it just did not work. It broke a heap of the ethics and things. So I actually don't know, you know, but they had the DLC for that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how successful the battle pass is for a Diablo game.
I am a little bit worried. Look, I am a big advocate for Microsoft picking up AKB, and the reason is I do think that Microsoft are a little bit more risk averse when it comes to trying to keep their fan bases happy, especially these days. So I do feel like maybe under Microsoft's caretakership, there may be less shitty decisions when it comes to monetization of products. I mean, that's a complete conjecture made by myself right here in this moment. It's not true, but I do think, recently we've probably seen more things. I mean, Microsoft sells a lot of their shit on a loss. It's that kind of shit. So I think they're aware of the mechanics of, the gaming community and marketing and how certain elements of monetization are perceived. Whereas I feel like a lot of other developers, especially Activision, EA, all the classic ones, they're treading this fine line of how can we shoehorn mobile game monetization into our AAA games that we get people to pay full price for, because that's the end game for them. They want these games as a service where they can on-sell this other shit that people don't actually really want. So, yeah, I don't know. Long story short, I think everyone should have take this news and then think about, taking Diablo 4 with a grain of salt and what Diablo 4's monetization model is going to look like within the next, year. I know they've said that they won't ever put anything else in the game that's, they said that anything outside of purchasing the game when it comes to spending money in Diablo 4 is going to be purely cosmetic, but I would not fucking trust anything that Blizzard said to me these days at all.
Yeah.
Just wouldn't.
Yeah.
They also said the
and
PvE update was coming to Overwatch 2, and it's not.
Just quickly, I know this is completely off topic here, Kat, but just speaking on monetization a little bit, and games that I think have done it right, and we've said this and we've spoken about it in the podcast, but holy shit, Dota 2 does a fucking good job of monetization.
Yeah, I think they do a great job. I think, sometimes the way they execute their battle pass is really good. I think the last one was a bit average, but I think the way that they go about it is, they do a really good job of bridging that gap, I think, but also making it seem like it's not that bad when really you've got people spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a battle
here's
pass.
the other thing too, Cap. The battle pass also funds the international, the prize pool for the international.
Yeah, but I would love to know what the percentage split of that is, Grizz. Do you know what that is?
I think they publicly announced what it is, but I can't remember. I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah, because I've never looked that deep into it, but I would love to know, okay, here's how much money we actually made off the battle pass, and this is how much of that money is going to the team that wins. Because I bet you it's a pretty funny split. But yeah, anyways, long story short, Overwatch 2 probably going to be in caretaker mode within the year. I would imagine they'll just slowly wind back in the content updates. Will we get you go into a bit of a drought? But yeah, sorry, Overwatch fans, but I think, I hate to say it, I just can see Heroes of the Storm written all over this. I think,
me too, mate. It is the Heroes of the Storm story right there, eh?
Yeah, so
100%.
yeah, mental. But yeah, there you go. Freaking Overwatch 2 no longer getting a PvE update. Now, one thing we did do, Grizz, is the week that we were supposed to stream this particular question, we didn't because my son was sick, so we couldn't go live. But anyways, we had a poll, and we do a poll every freaking week on Twitter. Twitter.com/OGR show. You can go and follow us on there. Now, like we said, we run this Twitter poll every week. We get your opinion on whatever we're talking about in that week. And so, the week before last, week before last, we asked on Twitter, Blizzard have announced that Overwatch 2 will no longer receive its anticipated PvE update. Simple question. Do you think Overwatch 2's release has been lackluster? And we did a simple yes or no. We had a fair few votes. And Grizz, do you want to go through the responses?
Right. Not surprising, Kat, but 96.3% of people thought the Overwatch 2 release was lackluster.
Yeah.
Astounding amounts.
Bit of a yikes on a bike. So, I've got to be honest. I agree. I think the game is just kind of broken, and it's not particularly enjoyable by the sounds of things. I had a little bit of fun with it, but it wasn't enough to keep me coming back for more. So, yeah, definitely in the yes boat. Now, obviously, people can comment on this poll, and we will absolutely read things you have to say, as long as it's not rude and it is, somewhat thoughtful. So, Sukai at Sukai AU said, "I haven't been interested in Overwatch in years, but the fact they pushed everyone over to 2 because of the planned PVE content, only to then cancel that same content, definitely don't blame Overwatch players for feeling stung." Which, absolutely, totally agree, totally agree, totally chatted about it. So, exactly right. I think if you're an Overwatch player and you're feeling stung about this, you have absolutely every right. So yeah, you want to go through the other one, Grizz? You got that there?
Yeah,
Or do you want me to
this
get
is
through it?
from Claude's. It's a glorified Overwatch 1 update, but this time it's even less fun, more taxing to play, feels even less rewarding than the prequel. Congrats, Blizzard. You just spat on a beloved franchise and all of its fans. So
Yeah, I think big time. But I mean, again, this is the other issue is just I just think there's so much. There's what's written all over this is just like board intervention for me. But
yeah.
yeah.
Look,
anyways.
I honestly don't think they needed to name it Overwatch 2 Cap. Like I
No.
still don't understand kind of their thinking there.
Do you know
Maybe
what?
Is it the
I
free to
think-
play thing, Cap? Is it? And people have spent money, or what is
No,
it?
I think honestly, what would have happened is like there would have been so much bureaucratic like marketing put into this to try and figure out how they could put a re-injection of life into Overwatch 2. Okay, how do we do that? We re-release Overwatch 2 as a free thing where we do a battle pass. We can improve our fucking monetization this much because look at other games and models that do this same kind of approach, and this is how much money they make. Great, let's do that. How can we do this properly, but not sting the people who have already paid for Overwatch 1? Make it call it Overwatch 2 and release it with the PvE content that we had planned already for a patch, and we'll just bundle it all together and say it's another game when it's not really, and we can get away with changing the monetization model and onboarding more players. I think that's literally what happened. And then I think what happened after that is it didn't work. It didn't onboard more players. It didn't start making more money. And the board went, what the fuck is going on here? We need to pull the plug on this, wind it back. And here we are.
A little bit disconnected, Cap, from the target audience, I feel. Anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's people with money, unfortunately, Grizz, is the people with money tend not to be the target audience. So there you go. Anyways, but yeah, Overwatch 2. Now, Grizz, we had a freaking PlayStation showcase.
Baby.
2023 PlayStation showcase. Okay, so basically PlayStation, they had a bit of an event. I think the actual stream went for like an hour or some shit. That was streamed on what day was that? That was 5 days ago on the somethingth of the somethingth. So yeah. Anyways, they did they talked about a bunch of stuff. They announced a bunch of stuff as well. We're going to pick out a few of the main things here and go through those one by one, and then I'll give you a bit of a recap of the entirety after that, and maybe a couple of some fan favorites. But the one thing I wanted to go through first. Yeah, big old honourable mentions. We're going to pick a couple. I wanted to go through, Grizz.
Yes.
PlayStation Q.
PlayStation Q. Yeah.
PlayStation
absolutely.
Q.
What is it, Cat?
Now, it is exactly what the rumours specified. So a while back, we had inklings and rumours pop up on Twitter and some other bits and pieces that PlayStation were working on some kind of handheld device. We didn't really know an awful lot about it, and then later it came out that it seemed like it was a remote play only device, effectively, and it has since been confirmed in this PlayStation's showcase that the PlayStation Q is real, and it is absolutely a device that is targeted for people wanting to just do remote play within their home. So the device is
awesome,
peripheral.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah. So they've basically broken a DualShock controller in half and wedged a reasonably sized
screen.
8-inch screen in between the two pieces. And I mean, it looks nice. It looks like a like in terms of form factor, it looks pretty neat and tidy. It looks like it would be, I don't know, like kind of comfortable to hold rather than having one of these PlayStation or controllers with one of those like phone holders or something hanging off the top of it. So It looks the form factor is a bit closer to something like a Steam Deck or a Switch with the kind of controllers either side of the screen. But yeah, the idea is going to be it is purely to be played on your home network, remote playing your PlayStation 5 to this device. So
it has the features of the PlayStation. You know what? I will say this too before I jump into this, but PlayStation 5 controllers are beautiful to play on, aren't they?
Yeah, they're my favorite controllers. Yeah.
And you get the haptic. Do you get the haptic feedback on these as well?
I would imagine so. I think it's going to
triggers.
Yeah, I would have thought that it will operate basically 1-to-1. Well, at least I would hope so. We didn't get an awful lot of details in this particular video, but it does look like it is literally just the DualShock controller split in half. But the one thing I'm wondering about, Grizz, is if you look at a DualShock controller, like I'm showing on my video stream right now, where are they going to wedge the touch screen? Because I don't really want to be touching the actual screen.
They might not have one of those. Do you need that? I never fucking use that little touch screen thing ever.
Well, not really. I mean, sometimes it opens a map or anything.
I wonder if the screen itself will be a touch screen, mate.
Yeah, but this is the thing. I don't want to touch the screen because it leaves fucking finger marks on it. I don't want that. Now, so I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they get around that.
Will this work the same way as a PS Vita worked, Cap? Because I know the Vita could have remote play stuff as well, right?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, you could use the Vita, but the thing is, the Vita was standalone, so you could play Vita games on the Vita, kind of like.
Oh, right.
You could have the games on that particular console. With this, there is no storage of those games on this device.
So you need a PS5. You need a PS5 in the house.
Yes, correct.
To be able to play games. Which, you know what? I would consider doing that. I would fucking love to play God of War in bed, mate. That'd be fucking fantastic.
Do you know what you should do, mate? Just don't do that. Get a Steam Deck. Get a third-party fucking client like I did, and just remote play to your Steam Deck. Even better.
Do that. Yeah.
There you go.
I am actually spending some time offshore in September, so maybe I should invest. I've been telling the missus that I want to get a gaming laptop. So,
dude, do you know what? I seriously thought about a gaming laptop, and I completely backtracked on it. Got the Steam Deck, and I was so glad I did.
Yeah. There's other things that I want to do with the gaming laptop too, though, because I also want to stream some of my gigs. So I want to kind of.
Oh yeah, I literally only wanted it for gaming. So I mean, if you've got other uses, yeah, of course. But yeah. Anyways, look, going back to the PlayStation Q, that's basically what it is. They call it cloud based, but technically it's not really cloud based because it's streaming from your home network. So that doesn't really it's not a cloud console. It's a remote play console. So
it'll run schmick then, won't it? Capo.
Look, it'll run nicely as long as your home network's set up correctly. A couple of things for those at home that want to set up remote play: make sure if you're going to be doing wireless stuff, your PlayStation 5 is directly connected to your router, because otherwise you're going to have a bad time. Okay, and then bonus points: make sure the device you're remotely streaming to, i.e., your phone or your PlayStation Q when it comes out. Chuck that on the 5 gigahertz wireless network if you've got one, because it'll run even better. But I mean, it works on 2.4, but
very good.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, it's a PlayStation Q coming out now. They also announced some PlayStation earbuds, which look quite nice. Lossless audio. I'm pretty sure, Grizz. The cool thing about this is they're true wireless. I thought I read something about the fact that they're running on. They're kind of like connected directly to the PS5 rather than to the device streaming the remote play. So if you want to do it, use it for that. So you actually get the audio isn't being streamed to your device and then from your device to your headphones. It's straight to the PS5. So it'll work nicely with the PlayStation Q, obviously, hence why they'll probably released kind of announced side by side. But yeah, these look really nice. The only thing is, Grizz, I don't know if you're the same, but I just don't like earbuds. I like a overhead or something because otherwise it's going to fall off my head or fall out of my ears.
I love earbuds, Cap.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I've got a gym pair that I wear that are maybe you need to get them fit correctly to your ear holes or something. Like I had to try a lot of different buds, but yeah, I swear by them. I wear them on the train. I've got noise cancelling ones, and they are just perfect, mate. Schmicko. Yeah,
very freaking nice. Yeah, well, it sounds like you don't need the PlayStation earbuds then, Grizz. So you're not the target audience for this bad boy. But yeah, anyways, so that's the PlayStation Q. It was announced. We know it's actually It's been revealed, Grizz. It exists. So there you go. Now, let's get into some of the games that were announced, Grizz. Or, things we knew that were coming, some things we didn't know that were coming. I'm going to start with Metal Gear Solid Triangle or Delta. I think they're calling it Delta, but
Triangle, yeah. I love
Triangle. I don't know why they just didn't call it Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake, but, they had to be all kind of like snarky and artsy about it. I suppose that's probably something Kojima would have done, and maybe that's what they're trying to recreate. But anyways, that's Konami for you. Metal Gear Solid Triangle.
The Metal Gear
Snake
Solid
Eater Remake.
nerds are going nuts about this.
Dude, I'm going nuts because this is the best Metal Gear Solid game. That's not an opinion. That's the truth. Okay.
Is that because the other ones sucked, Cap, or what?
Nah, the other ones were fucking great, dude.
That's my
Metal Gear
personal
Solid
opinion.
1,
I am not a Metal Gear Solid fanboy at all, Capo.
Yeah,
at all.
I don't know. It was such a like smoking in the boys' room, like rebel fucking, like game back in those days. So I was like, it's cool to play Metal Gear Solid. Like that was a cool game. But I mean, they did cool things like, the Psycho Mantis fight in Metal Gear Solid 1, where you had to change your controller input into a different port so that Psycho Mantis couldn't read your inputs and stuff. Just cool shit like that. But Metal Gear Solid 3 is by far the best storyline and gameplay wise. I mean, you probably argue that maybe some of the newer ones are pretty good, but this game, epic. So the fact that they're doing a remake, very excited for. Now, I guess the big thing for me, Grizz, is what level of remake is this? Okay, is this a full Resident Evil kind of like remake, bottom up or ground up? Sorry, or is this like, I don't know.
Well, the cinematic trailer we see is pretty dang amazing, dude. Like the sound design and the visuals are very impressive.
Yeah,
very impressive.
Dude,
yeah,
absolutely. So. We kind of get a new cinematic with Snake kind of emerging from the water covered in mud and shit, looking like freaking what is that freaking 80s freaking actor Kurt Russell. He's just freaking Kurt Russell 2.0, I reckon. Surely that was the what do you call it? The creative design element of Snake.
Dude,
but
what gets me is it's just a series of animals. It's like you see some ants and then like a frog is eating the ants, and then a bird comes to eat the frogs, lands on a stick, and then a snake eats the bird, and then a alligator comes and eats the snake. And it's just like, it's just very well done, man.
Yeah, it's a freaking dog eat dog world out there, Grizz. Okay, so basically, I think it's supposed to be a metaphor for Snake. Okay, Grizz, he is the prime freaking predator. He's the apex.
He's the
predator.
apex predator, is he? Right.
He's the final piece of that puzzle.
He's the top of the tropic level, Cap. That's what they say.
Is that your freaking biology coming through? Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
big fan of that. Now, Grizz, one thing I wanted to talk about is a little while ago we saw that Cynthia Harrell, who is she sings Snake Eater, which is the theme song for Metal Gear Solid 3, which is it is a James Bond-esque banger.
Yes, I heard that at the end of this.
It's so good, dude. This is an iconic freaking gaming song. It's such a good song. Anyways, she posted an image a while ago saying doing some recording, and then I can't remember. She kind of alluded to the fact that it was a Metal Gear Solid 3. It was a Snake Eater redo, effectively. So that kind of sent off a bells for people being like, "Oh, I wonder if they're doing a remake." And it seems like absolutely they're doing a remake. So yeah, honestly, big fan of this. Very excited for this remake. I just hope they do a good job of it because Konami recently have had a pretty average track record just because they're super into making gotcha games instead of actual games. But I think do you know what I think's happened to Konami, Grizz? They basically said, we're not making video games anymore. Fuck off, Kojima. It costs too much money. Kojima then left, but they still owned the Metal Gear Solid IP, etc. And then what happened is they started doing all this gambling shit and making gotcha games and whatever else. And then I think what happened is they went, why do people buy our gotcha games? Because they're based on our gaming IPs, which we no longer make. shit.
Yeah, shit.
And then
we
they've
better
had to backtrack and
bring
go,
up- yeah.
shit, quick, we got to make some more games to sell these fucking gotcha games. So I'm sure it'll go full circle in no time. But anyways,
Cap, we've seen some pretty
yeah.
amazing remakes in the last couple of years, mate.
dude. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, Resident
You know,
Evil has been doing fantastic. Oh, actually, we have seen some pretty shit ones too.
we've
Dead
seen some
Space
crap
being one
ones.
of them.
It depends on whether it's a remake or a remaster, I guess, a lot of the time.
True,
A lot of the
true,
remasters,
yeah.
I think, have been pretty subpar, but the remakes have generally been, well, I mean, you know. Again,
Dark Souls
it's
1
been a game.
remaster was fucking excellent, wasn't it?
Absolutely. That was a really good one. You know, we've had some shonkers like the Chrono Cross remaster was really bad.
Warcraft
and it was-
3 remaster was terrible.
Yeah, that was horrific though. And then we had the Diablo 2 remaster.
Oh, that was
A
lovely.
remake, sorry.
Yeah,
That was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just depends on how much love they put into it. But I mean, hopefully this gets the same treatment. Now, alongside this was also announced the MGS Volume 1 Master Collection, Grizz, which is going to have, I think, 1, 2, and 3 all bundled in. So they're just going to be next-gen ports of those existing games. So, but I mean, the fact that it's Volume 1 implies that they're probably going to have a Volume 2, which might have things like, is it Peace Walker, I think is one of them, and a bunch of other games, like probably Twin Snakes, I think is another one that they've got. So, but we'll see what pops up when that pops up. So there you go.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid fans, freaking you're eating pretty good, assuming that they can
Hey.
pull the remake off. So,
Yeah. We'll
yeah,
see.
pretty exciting.
Watch this space.
Grizz, did you ever play Marathon back in the day?
No, I did not. But I did see this, and I was wondering what the hell it was. What is? Talk me through Marathon.
All
Talk
right.
me through it.
Well, Marathon is an old kind of like FPS game, effectively.
Yeah.
I think it's like 90s era. Looking here, December 21, 1994 on the Macintosh computer, Grizz.
Oh my god. Maybe I did play it, dude.
You might
Maybe I
have.
fucking did. Yeah.
It was kind of like Quake-esque, but yeah, it was one of those games. Now, this was Bungie's first game, I'm pretty sure, from as far as I'm aware. So,
Right.
yeah, this is like their first. Oh no, okay, here you go. Bungie's first game was a game called Nyop, spelt N-O-P exclamation mark. But
Right.
it was one of their first 5 games that they made. So,
Dude,
yeah,
it looks
it was very clever.
very Bungie-esque though. Like I can see a lot of what I see in Destiny in this clip.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of thematically. There's a lot of shit going on, but
Yeah.
So to kind of get there, they've since announced during the PlayStation Showcase. Now, just remember, Bungie is now owned by Sony. They've announced that they're going to be reviving the Marathon intellectual property with producing a next generation Marathon game, which is going to be coming out as a game as a service, our favorite word. But it's going to be a extraction looter shooter.
Oh, sick. Okay.
So think
Very cool.
Tarkov, but
Yeah.
I believe probably a few more story elements and I guess the theme or thematically, the aesthetic of this particular game is going to be something more akin to Destiny, but probably a bit more kind of like almost cyberpunk adjacent, but not.
I think
somewhere
Bungie
there.
could do a great job of a extraction looter shooter. I think they probably quite enjoy thinking outside of the box of the Destiny franchise, and I don't know,
Yeah,
taking
well,
some of the great things. The gunplay in Destiny, mate. Like that is one thing you cannot take away from that game.
Yeah, I mean, if they
Because-
just fucking Control C the gunplay folder from Destiny and Control V it straight into Marathon, I'm very keen on that because you're right. I think a lot of developers look at Destiny's gunplay as as what do you call it? Freaking
Top tier.
like-
What do you call it?
yeah,
I know
it's
what you're
top
trying to
tier.
say.
Yeah, I can't think of the freaking word.
Yeah.
Anyways, I remember Todd Howard said that they used Destiny as inspiration for Fallout 4's gunplay. Not that it was
right.
as good, but they definitely used it as inspiration. So, it gives you an idea. But yeah, if you're kind of interested, go and check out the trailer for Marathon. Some older gamers might have their ears piqued by hearing that name, but. I never played Marathon, but I had friends that had it, and it just kind of looked like Doom to me back in the olden days. But yeah,
How would you explain it, Cap? Like kind of cyberpunk.
it's definitely cyberpunk. It's probably it's like a blend of System Shock and cyberpunk. Probably leaning closer to the System Shock side of things, but yeah, I mean, you go and check out the trailer. There's a lot of neon fucking lights and hacky like viral shit going on, and it looks cool, but we don't really get an awful lot from the trailer
no
that we
gameplay
see.
yet, and they make that clear. It's just a cinematic story, cinematic, I guess. So.
Absolutely, but there's a bunch of shit that they did say. Like, this game is not just coming to PS5, by the way, Grizz. It is coming to all platforms.
Yeah,
which I found quite interesting, because I feel like that is Sony kind of eating a bit of humble pie, saying, yes, games of a service absolutely need to be sold on all platforms to maximize our profits. So, you know, otherwise, if they felt like they could actually produce a game as a service on their own console, they would have obviously, you know, done it themselves. So, but they didn't. So there you go. But yeah, so there you go. Despite ownership of Bungie, they are going to be posting it everywhere. But it is next gen only, just FYI. So, so there's that. Now, it's basically just a PvP experience for the most part, but it's going to, you know, kind of be calling on the original elements of Marathon and you know, trying to give it a new story twist, etc. So there's that. Now, if you're expecting kind of like a hero, like, you know, superpower kind of Destiny game, you're not going to be getting that. You're literally going to have these characters that are only empowered by the gear they're wearing, effectively. So, you know, you're going to be going in, getting cool gear, storing that gear, and using that gear to get more better gear in different runs. So that looks pretty cool. But yeah, I think a lot of what they're trying to go for is that whole kind of player-driven story thing, Grizz. You know, like you talk about, they're not going to have any kind of single-player stuff. It's going to be more, well, I mean, obviously it's a like kind of single-player game, PvP-esque, but they're not going to be having like a single-player story for you to unravel. It's going to be, you know, I went into this area and I came across this guy and I stalked him for fucking ever. And then, you know, we had this big gun battle, and it's going to be that kind of more organic PvP story kind of thing. So yeah, looks interesting.
I think that sounds good. Stick to one thing and do it well. And yeah. Hopeful.
Absolutely. Now,
I think there is a market for extraction shooters, Cap. You know, we had, we obviously got Tarkov, and that's been very successful. But Modern Warfare 2 hasn't done particularly well with what's it called? That one?
Cash grab or some shit.
Yeah,
I can't remember what they called it.
Yeah,
what they
so
call
I
it?
can't remember what it's called. Particular one. Anyway,
yeah, it's baked into Modern Warfare or whatever the newest one. Dude, I can't remember. But yeah, I don't think anyone's quite done what Tarkov did. So I think there's definitely room for a good iteration of that, and maybe we'll see that here with Marathon. When do you think we'll see this game, Grizz? Because no release date was announced.
I reckon 2024, probably earliest. Yeah,
I'd say
because
so.
all the ones in here that are coming out this year, they have said either 2023 or given it a month. So
yeah,
if there's no date, I would probably say it's at least more than a year away, at least next year sometime.
One thing I wanted to quickly kind of mention, Grizz, is that like a while back, Sony was saying that they wanted to expand more into the games as a service category, and this is absolutely showing off.
That was part of their acquisition of Bungie, wasn't it? To try to
they kind of said we want to open, like, we want help with getting, you know, some games as a service stuff. So it makes me wonder, like, I mean, around that time, maybe Marathon was just a vague concept and it wasn't quite fleshed out, and then, you know, the acquisition plus Sony's cash injection enabled Bungie to really get that pumping, because, you know, Bungie only has Destiny for the most part now. But, you know, being a developer without any cash injection from, you know, up above, it must be pretty difficult to keep the lights on and all that kind of shit, to maintain a big team of developers and getting things cranked out. So I can imagine it would have been pretty difficult for them to work on that IP in tandem with Destiny 2 and maintain another team of developers and pay them properly. So this is probably the only way they're really ever going to be able to do something like this. So, I mean, could be exciting. I used to be a massive Destiny 2 fan. Not so much anymore, but...
Well, did you want to talk about that really quickly? The Destiny 2 announcement as well.
Yeah, I think I didn't really look too much into it, Grizz, but they announced DLC that looks like it's
Well.
underwater or some shit. I don't know.
Do you know who's coming back? Did you see that, Cap?
Oh yeah, they re-announced Cade 6, and that's such a
Yeah.
fucking fan service thing. Which, hey, I'm all for fan service. I play Legend of Zelda, so I'm all about it. But ultimately, I did think it was a bit of a cop out, and I'm going to be interested to see how they implement that as to whether it's like the ghost of Cade or is it actually Cade. So
I remember
I don't know.
that was a bit of a. I was actually playing Destiny when he got killed, and it was like a big oh fuck moment. So
Do you know what?
Um,
Actually, thinking about this, Grizz, and just talking
Yeah.
about the fact that Sony owns Bungie again, I always like kind of brainstormed that they got rid of Cade is because they couldn't afford Nathan Fillion anymore. And maybe now that Sony's back on board, they can suddenly afford Nathan Fillion again because he's voicing Cade again.
His character is fucking awesome. He was like the best character in the game.
Cade was the standout. He had such good quippy like bullshit, and Nathan Fillion is the guy who voices Nathan Drake. I think that's right, isn't it? Oh no, wait, is that right? Am I making that up? Nathan Drake,
Don't know.
voice actor. Pretty sure it is.
Not sure, Cap. This is going to be one
No,
of your
it's Nolan
things.
North, but I think Nathan Fillion really wanted to play Drake. He even did like a freaking what do you call it? Like little indie film playing him, which anyways, he has like I feel like Nathan Fillion has this just like typecast, and Cade 6 was perfect for that. Nathan Drake is another example of that. But yeah, he pulls off Cade really well. So
A DMZ was what I was thinking of. Call of Duty. Thank you, Sukai. Yes, that's the one. The DMZ mode.
DMZ classic.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, Marathon. So if you're a big old freaking Bungie fan from freaking almost 20 years ago, you're going to be very freaking excited for that. Now, Capcom also announced a new game, Grizz, and it wasn't Monster Hunter.
Yeah. Yep.
It was the next iteration of the Dragon's Dogma series, Dragon's Dogma 2.
Now, Cap, I used to play Dragon's Dogma online totally when I lived in Japan and didn't use a VPN to play it.
Oh, yes, that's right. I remember you lived in Japan and didn't need a VPN because you lived there to play that game.
That's right. But it was fucking awesome. It was a very good MMO. And I didn't play Dragon Dogma 1, but if this is anything like that, it's kind of like Skyrim, open world, but just very good, just very well done, mate. Very well done games.
I think, look, Dragon's Dogma 2, I mean, 1 didn't have massive success or anything, but I think a lot of people look back lovingly on that particular game because I think, the companion system was really great. In the single player experience, there was this, companion system where your companions kind of quested with you, and as you quested, they got better at their job as well. And I think that was just a really cool, fun RPG kind of thing. Now, the other thing was, these massive monsters and stuff were all climbable, kind of like Shadow of the Colossus kind of thing.
Yeah.
But those enemies, and even the smaller enemies, they reacted to environmental things, and you could use those in like kind of reactions and stuff to your advantage. Like, wolves were quite quick and agile and difficult to fight because they were quick and agile, but you could ignite them on fire, and that would make them a bit easier, or B, you could douse them in water and they'd be trying to get the water off them, and so that would kind of almost stun them. So it's just, I think they had really interesting ways for you to interact with these enemies, and I think probably maybe even there's also that kind of Soulsborne element of puzzle fights. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
it looks fantastic. The combat looks amazing. Like,
it looks really nice. It's definitely got that Japanese RPG look to it, with some of the animations and stuff. Just like reminds me of, even Demon Souls and stuff like that. It's got a very Demon Souls vibe to me. But yeah, it looks really good. I played a little bit of Dragon's Dogma 1, but I'm probably going to go back and just kind of revisit it. Maybe on my Steam Deck, 'cause I'm pretty sure I got it on Steam. So,
Capcom,
but yeah, it's really good.
Capcom pretty capable, mate, aren't they? So we'll see.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, they've learned a lot, I feel, from the Monster Hunter series, Grizz. So I think they can probably pull off a pretty reasonable game, especially the multiplayer elements of what they would be introducing into Dragon's Dogma 2. I imagine would be, very well kind of inspired by their Monster Hunter games. And I think that'll work really well because it kind of is a Monster Hunter-esque game. It's just probably more heavy on the Skyrim kind of RPG fantasy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. Yeah.
And less tank controls and stuff for your character. I feel like, that was another thing about this. The earlier game is, the job system was quite, the different jobs that you could take on as an adventurer. So like, a warrior or mage, they're all very unique and interesting. And so look, I think there's going to be a lot to really love about this game, presuming that it releases well and we don't have a, Capcom doesn't need to write another apology letter for releasing a game like we've seen so often recently.
It's nuts, isn't it? Far out. What's going on, Cap, with game dev right now? AAA Studios bringing out absolute garbage, eh?
Yeah, I think it's just like a combination of COVID and just biting off more that they can chew, and
probably a bit of corporate pressure as well. Yeah.
Absolutely, all of the above, and I think it's just finally boiling over. So, anyways, we'll be able to talk about that a bit more with the next game I'm going to talk about. But Dragon's Dogma 2, go and check out the trailer because it actually looks wicked. If you're into kind of like imagine Skyrim crossed with Demon Souls crossed with Monster Hunter. That's basically what you're getting in Dragon's Dogma 2. So, looks freaking good. Now, Grizz, again, speaking of corporate pressure and just funny happenings and weird goings on in the what do you call it? In the corporate world of gaming, Ubisoft, they've released their first gameplay trailer for Assassin's Creed Mirage, which I thought looked actually pretty good.
It looks fantastic. They give us a date as well, so October 12th. I believe you can get on the pre-order. We may have already known that, but Cap, gone back to the roots, as I think we've spoken about this in the podcast before, but it is the classic style that we knew from those first Assassin's Creed games. I think it's Unity and Syndicate Rebellion or something else like that. But
well, even just the first few games, Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 and the iterations of 2, they're going back to, actually being an assassin, not this weird RPG thing that they've got going on at the moment.
Yeah, and there seems to be some kind of I remember the first one, it's pretty much the only Assassin's Creed I've ever played, Cap, but there was some like sci-fi elements in there. To do with like traveling back in time. Some of the voiceover during this clip hints that might be the case for this one as well. I didn't pay too much attention, but there's definitely something going on.
Those elements have always been a big part of the Assassin's Creed games because the whole thing that underpinned these games was the reason you're doing this is because in the present day, you're going back into your genetic memories and reliving your ancestors' memories and time. And that was the cool thing about the first game because it was like sci-fi and cool. And then I kind of feel like it just kind of got a bit weird and there was all of a sudden mythology and just all this other shit going on. And the I don't know, the mystery and stuff of it was kind of lost because it just kind of shoehorned a bit too hard. But anyway, sorry to interject.
I remember that classic imagery from the first Assassin's Creed games was diving off the towers into the hay bales.
Yeah, and that was cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Back in those days?
Sitting up on the little tower, watching over the huge big city that you're kind of watching over. And we see some of those very similar vibes in this trailer, Cap. So
they're definitely hearkening back to Assassin's Creed 1. I think they're trying to get people back in on the franchise that maybe lost love with it because of these bloated RPGs that they've been doing with, Odyssey and Origins and Valhalla. And, I think that new kind of like approach to Assassin's Creed games just isn't. I feel like Assassin's Creed has lost its identity big time, and maybe they're trying to regarner that. And I think the way that Ubisoft's been going recently, I think they absolutely need to because things aren't looking fucking good.
The financials at the moment for Ubisoft, I think we covered it in another episode, Cap, but struggling big time.
They had a big layoff recently as well.
They had a big layoff, but they also had something like ridiculous, like 8 or 9 different projects in the works, and they cut off a bunch of those to kind of refocus. So I think this looks fantastic. And Kev, I thought that obviously there is some gameplay that we're seeing here in these bits and pieces, and it looks buttery smooth. And you can see that it's probably 60 frames, if not more, but current gen, and it just looks really fucking good. I think this might be a nice Ubisoft release. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, time will tell, but yeah, I think going back to their original kind of game premise and game design kind of systems, I think that's what this IP really needs, and now's the time to do it. So, the game's going to be a much more kind of succinct, smaller experience. I guess it's going to take place in kind of like a wider area in the Middle East or something like that. But it's not going to be like a big sprawling RPG like Odyssey. So yeah, I'm thoroughly looking forward to this. Actually, I think this is definitely something I'll get on board with. But I just hope they pull it off and they don't, just try and ram fucking, I don't know, battle passes and shit down my throat. Please,
it's a PlayStation exclusive too, Capo. So it's
what
one
is
will be
it
on the
really?
PS5. I was just looking at the end screen there. It looks like it. Yeah.
Serious? No, surely not. That was another thing about this this PlayStation showcase, Grizz, is that I feel like PlayStation was like, look at all these games coming to PS5, but a lot of them actually aren't just PS5 exclusives.
I wonder whether they haven't. Well, most of them will say whether they're on Steam and stuff. At the end of this, I can't see any available now. Well, it says Ubisoft, PS5, PS4. So I don't know.
I
mate.
can't imagine that because Valhalla came out on Xbox, so I don't know. That seems hard to believe, but we'll find out, I guess, close.
Someone fact check us, will you? Google it. Have a look.
Yeah, someone Google it and let us know. But yeah, so there you go. I mean, those were kind of the major ones that we picked out, Grizz. Now, did you have anything in particular in that list?
I had
kind of
three that
you?
we haven't covered yet.
Yeah.
Most anticipated, most controversial, and for me, the best announcement. And we haven't discussed them yet. So I want to talk about the most anticipated for me, which was a game called Phantom Blade. Did you see
before
that?
you go any further, I just want to say, Sukai has performed the research for us. It is definitely coming to all platforms.
Oh, right. So
just FYI.
Stuff,
but yeah, anyways, this was one I was excited for as well, Grizz. So I might just let you talk about it, and that will also be one for me.
Okay, all right. So Phantom Blade, I hadn't heard anything about this game before coming into this, but kind of looks like a without me knowing too much about my places and eras and things, but a Japanese-inspired Souls-like, kind of reminds me a lot of Neo.
Yeah, I was going to say it's giving me Neo vibes.
I love the fact that you don't see a HUD, and you're running around and you're performing these attacks, and it takes quite a while for it to get into combat. You kind of see some story elements, but when the combat comes in, that's when I was really excited, Cap, because I thought that looked quite unique. It does kind of seem Soulsy. You can dodge and parry and do bits and pieces, and you see some pretty crazy monsters and other things. But if this is like a open world Souls-like, it looks very interesting, and I would be interested because there's an issue, right? For me, Neo was a good game, but there was too much bullshit in it, Cap. It was just too.
Yeah. I just didn't like the loot system. I didn't like the Diablo approach.
Yeah,
I liked the uniqueness of the Soulsborne. Here's these cool things that you've kind of collected along the way, or things that you just literally miss, and next playthrough you find them and go, oh shit, I didn't know that was there. But yeah, I don't know. The combat definitely looks nice in this though, Grizz, and
dude,
the fighting style's really cool. So yeah, I'm definitely keen to give this a crack. Hopefully, that was another thing about Neo is it didn't just to me. It just didn't quite feel right in terms of the combat. Whereas, I don't know.
It was a bit strange. You had all these ninjutsu abilities and bits and pieces. And honestly, I actually found the bosses to be particularly strange because there was stuff that was unblockable and almost impossible to beat without the right setup. And it just didn't feel nice to play.
Whereas I don't really like that.
The Souls-like were, you figured out the move sets and then you'd be able to do it. But just, didn't quite feel like that. So
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. This looks cool. It looks interesting. We see some like horseback battles and other thematic kind of events. So
yeah. I mean, those horseback battles look very on rails, but I guess we'll see what the go is with that.
They do look very on rails. Yeah.
So, but still looks pretty epic. So, yeah, I don't know.
So most anticipated for me, I think that has potential to be decent, Capo, for sure.
Yep. Now, what are the other ones?
Most controversial, Cap. A game called Foam Stars. Did you see Foam Stars?
This is like, dude, okay. This is Square Enix, isn't it? I feel
Yeah.
like Square Enix were like, hey, that freaking Squid Game, we should make one of those.
Dude,
And they did.
this is Splatoon.
Yeah.
This is
Yep.
fucking It is Splatoon, except it's
Yep.
foam rather than paint. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
It's pretty cheeky, isn't it? Like it's like egregious.
Absolutely. It is
It's
like if you look at the actual gameplay, it is nearly identical. It's like zone control with your characters. It's PvP kind of game. It is Splatoon all over. So
Yeah, I don't know. I found this quite hilarious, Chris, because I didn't think, like, I know Splatoon's popular, but I don't think it's that popular where people like kind of falling over themselves to just do a recreation. But in all honesty, this is like a freaking 10-cent level freaking cut and copy, in my opinion.
it is. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks
They made
so
some-
much like Splatoon. It's not even funny.
Oh, mate, when you see it, it's like when you see the actual gameplay, it is, yeah, even some of the maps and stuff, it just looks very, very, very similar. So,
Yeah, yeah.
anyway,
Kind of mental.
could be good.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see, mate. We'll see. And Cap, the last one was, we'd heard about this before, but we got to see some more gameplay and other bits and pieces for it. It is a Devolver Digital release. Do you know what I'm talking about here, Cap?
Are you talking about Plucky Squire?
I am talking about Plucky Squire.
Yeah, dude.
I just think
I'm very
this
keen.
looks fucking cool.
Well, describe it for our viewers. Our listeners,
Well, it's very hard to
Chrissy.
describe, but I kind of almost think that this is going to be a little bit like It Takes Two, where there is a lot in the game, different kind of ways to play, but you kind of see them open up a book and you're playing a 2D side-scrolling game in a book, bit of platforming in bits and pieces, and then all of a sudden it turns to a top-down kind of view over that book, and it's almost like Legend of Zelda style. And then you make your way outside the book, and all of a sudden it's a 3D platformer, almost like Mario 64, and you're traversing through different environments. But the
The
artwork is
environment's
very
kind of like in someone's like
stylized.
office or something. Like
Yeah, it
you know,
is, and
like
that's
home
kind of.
office.
I think that's kind of why it's giving me the It Takes Two vibes. You know,
Yeah. Oh,
some of it-
definitely. I agree.
kind of feels like that. But I mean, we know, Cap, that Devolver Digital, everything they touch is generally pretty dang good, and we've kind of seen this game before. But yeah, I just think this looks like one to keep your eyes on for sure. Because I think it just looks pretty great.
Yeah, I just think visually, like it's a classic Devolver kind of published game where artistically it's really nicely put together, but I think that transition between 2D and 3D environments just looks really nice. And the environments just look cool. They look really, really cool. Like the art style of the 2D stuff has kind of got that, like, I don't know, stylized kind of like comic booky kind of thing happening, like more modern comic book stuff. Or cartoon, whereas the 3D stuff, looks kind of cutesy, almost like
So good, yeah.
More recent iterations of that kind of Legend of Zelda top down. I can't remember what that one was called, Link Between Worlds or whatever. Kind of that level of it just looks good. It looks really good. So that's coming out in 2023, according to PlayStation, only on PlayStation.
Sheesh.
So
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah. There you go, mate.
Yeah.
Devolver making games for PlayStation now. Look at that. Gee.
Yeah, good on him, man. Freaking good on him.
Yeah.
Cool. Have you got anything else you wanted to talk about, Chris?
Look, that's pretty much it. There was something else that I wanted to bring, just have a quick chat about, Cap, which I thought was just fucking hilarious, but it's the Gran Turismo movie. Did you watch that?
Was
mate?
it Jason? It's got to be Jason Statham, surely.
Oh, look, mate, this is the thing though, Cap. It's a movie about VR racing, not even racing. So it's a movie about people driving in their VR setups in a racing scenario. So yeah, no shit. It's not even people racing the cars. I'm just wondering how this is going to work. I know, right? I get it, right? There's people that are racing VR racing with their sim rigs and everything else that are literally on kind of on level with F1 and stuff. It's a proper sport. Fucking, it's great. But I don't know, man. Can you make a Hollywood blockbuster about a racing sim, Cap? Can that happen, mate? Is this going to pop
man.
off or what?
I mean, they're going to need Jason Statham. I don't know how else they pull it off, in all honesty. But
Yeah.
I don't know. This it just seems like it's something a movie he'd be in. But yeah, I don't know, man. It just does not interest me in the slightest. I mean, I just don't like
No.
racing stuff anyway, so it's not really for me. But
Yeah.
maybe some people will be excited.
Yeah, maybe
So,
some people
yeah.
love it. Yep. There you
Yeah.
go. Anyway,
There you
that's
freaking
coming.
go.
2023 as well. So if you're into your racing sims, there you go. Get in there.
Yep. Freaking good shit. Now, I mean, you basically stole all mine, Grizz. So,
Did I? Fuck, sorry, mate.
yeah,
My
which
bad.
is, it's fine. It's okay. But I'll just pick out a couple that I wanted to talk about anyway.
Okay.
Now, we got another trailer for Final Fantasy 16, which is coming out on the 22nd of June. From all accounts, people have been getting some early previews on the demo for that game, which is probably going to come out maybe the first week of June. It's apparently quite a lengthy demo for that game, like a couple of hours or something of the kind of intro, and it's getting really good reviews for just that particular demo. And the demo progression that you do will also carry over to the full game if you're going to make the purchase, which is cool. I really like that.
Yeah.
So that I'm hyper excited. I think the trailer looks really good. Kind of just more of what we've already seen. I think, I'm really looking forward to maybe a slightly more adult story from Final Fantasy, because that's a lot of what I really like with Final Fantasy is, a long JRPG story. And if they can do something slightly more adult and make it a bit more interesting, I'm all about that. The combat looks out of control. It definitely looks like Yoshi P, who is working as one of the lead game directors for this game, he works on Final Fantasy 14, or is it 14? The MMO, whichever one that is. 14, I'm pretty sure it is.
You reckon he's had some input, do you?
Dude, absolutely. The freaking move sets and like the visually how the moves look, they just remind me of an RPG MMO character that you've built, and some of the moves that they do in a game like that, just very, very similar. And I think the approach is probably going to be fairly MMO style, perhaps, but I mean, it just looks really nice. The visual effects that we're getting in this already look great. I don't know what you think.
It does look fantastic, mate. It really does.
Yeah.
And one thing that stood out to me was actually the voice. I thought the voice acting was really good. The English voice acting seemed to have been overhauled or done really well.
Just chosen well, I think.
Just chosen well, yeah.
Yeah, which is nice because, I mean, I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom and I had to turn off English voice acting almost instantaneously because I could not listen to Princess Zelda any longer. So I'll be looking forward to a game where I can actually listen to it in English. So, but yeah, I think this looks really good. Some of the Titan battles that you're not Titan.
Ifrit gods, is it? What are they called?
Yeah, God. I can't remember what they call the gods, but the big god battles look mad dog.
Yeah, nuts, hey? It's like you get to play Ifrit in first person. That'd be sick, mate.
Yeah, I think this is going to be really cool. And it kind of seems like you're trying to get these like gods' powers. So presumably maybe you could play as other gods against other gods. So that could be cool. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's going to be really good. And yeah, again, if it's a bit more of a mature story, man, I'm very keen.
There, you're down.
Yeah, big time there. Now, the other thing, Grizz, was this game I'd not even freaking heard about called Towers of Aghasbar. I think that's how you pronounce it. But the name is really freaking difficult to pronounce. Now, look, the kind of vibe of it is, the trailer shows this kind of person waking up in this, barren wasteland with, all these weird and wonderful kind of creatures and stuff floating around, and skeletons, and it kind of looks like a post-apocalyptic world. But then it's very tribal-esque, and there's some big turtles and kind of I think tribalism kind of is symbolically very high in the themes for this game. But all of a sudden your characters kind of like whacking trees like they would in Rust, and maybe doing some like survival-esque stuff, and then
definitely gives you survival vibes early on, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Harvesting stuff, yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like making a village like you would in an RTS, but as if your third person character was like dropping these buildings down, which looked really cool. But yeah, it kind of looks like you're trying to like bring
Re-
back nature to this like desolate wasteland, and there's all these really awesome creatures, and you've got a freaking glider like you do in freaking Breath of the Wild. I don't know. It looks really cool, and if it's kind of like a Breath of the Wild-esque style game, and they pull it off, I think it could be really cool. So
Cap, the
yeah,
the one that got me on this, I actually had this as something I bring up, but I don't want to waste time. But the underwater, you see about a clip of about
Yeah.
15 seconds of underwater, and hot dang, it
it looks
looks
beautiful. Hey,
it looks beautiful. But it
Yeah.
actually gave me big Avatar vibes, Cap.
yeah. I
Um,
was actually getting that, and also some No Man's Sky vibes later on in the trailer when you see some of the fauna floating around. It just kind of looks like, it looks really cool. I think it could be really rad. It could also be really shit. I don't think the developer's very well known, and I think it's a fairly new development team. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they execute. And we've seen plenty of trailers that look really good, Grizz, and when the game comes out, it's absolutely fucking
it's very
garbage.
true. You
especially
seem to be able
these
to
days.
spot the fucking bad ones better than I do. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be Forspoken's
Yeah.
going to be sick.
Yeah,
it's gonna be great.
Redfall looks
Gollum,
brilliant.
yeah, that's going to be the best. That's going to be the game of the year. That one.
Yeah,
That was
well, I
actually my
think-
most anticipated. That one. We're going to get
I
there
know.
hopefully, but yeah,
I'm pretty sure I said I don't know about Goal. I think,
yeah, you
I don't know.
did. Both of those, all of them, mate.
Anyways, I'm a bit sad about Gollum because I think, I think it could have been good, but it just sounds like it got lost in development hell and then turned into a big
Dude,
pile of
it's
shit.
so bad. Even the animations, the jumping animation. I mean, we'll get there, but it is so bad, dude.
Yeah, it's
Like
really bad.
I don't know how they fucking released that game like that.
Yeah, horrible,
Oh,
man. But yeah,
Jesus.
but look, those are probably the big ones for me to pick out of this this lineup. I mean, there was a bunch of other stuff that was announced. A thing called Fair Games, which kind of looks maybe like a Payday kind of another game. Helldivers 2 was announced, which I mean, to me, didn't really turn me on that much. Helldivers 1 was pretty good, but
quickly on that, Cap, they've changed the formula. Helldivers 1 was a top-down co-op RTS or shooter. This is like an over-the-shoulder Destiny kind of third-person shoot 'em up. So
yeah, and they're definitely going for that Starship Troopers kind of like funny
absolutely.
army
Yeah.
kind of thing in the trailer. And I think it was a funny trailer, but I don't know. The gameplay didn't quite, make me excited, but I don't know. It could be all right. Who knows? Another trailer for Immortals of Avon, which has already kind of been announced and whatnot. Ghost Runner 2, another one of those. They also had Swords of the Sea, which is by the developers of Abzu and Journey. Kind of looks like they just went, let's just marry those two games and recreate it. So kind of, if you can imagine what that might look like, you're probably pretty spot on with what the trailer looks like. Another Talos Principle, very beloved puzzle game, is getting a sequel.
my notes on that, I just wrote forgettable on that one, Capo.
Forgettable? Yeah, well, a lot of people really liked that game. That was probably in the same realm as that other fucking puzzle game, popular.
Mirror's Edge, whatever it's called.
I can't think of the fucking game. Oh, man, it's going to kill me. I'll think about it later.
You do this every time, mate.
I know. And I know my mate at work is going to be, he listens to this podcast and he tells me every time he comes into work and he's like, I knew exactly what the game was that you wanted to talk about and we're trying to think of. And I was yelling at my radio in the car and I couldn't tell you. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
How about Einstein?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so there's that. We got another trailer for Alan Wake 2, which I'm pretty sure we already knew was coming out anyway. Bunch of other shit. I'm just kind of
another one called
this.
Neva, Cap, that kind of it was like very stylized about the dog that died and things. It gave you big Ori in the Blind Forest vibes.
Okay. I don't know if I can do another Ori in the Blind
sad.
Forest-esque game
dude,
because it probably would actually kill me.
The trailer gave me
from
the big
sadness.
sad, so just be careful on that one. But
I don't think I'm going to watch that then if that's the case. I hope it comes out Neva.
Street Fighter 6 though, Cap, as well. June 2nd.
yeah.
We saw some more of that. They released also it's kind of like the open world single player mode. And some of the characters that they kind of presented seemed pretty good. Yeah.
Chris,
Not far away. What's that, next week?
Yeah.
June 2nd.
No, you're right. It is. It's coming out next week.
Jesus.
Yeah. Out of freaking nowhere, John Cena. Anyways, Grizz, I thought of the game that I was thinking of. The Witness. Remember that game?
The Witness. No, I didn't play that. I'm not big
It
into
was like a
puzzle
puzzle
games,
game.
really. Yeah.
No, I'm not either normally, but that was a cracker. Anyways, similar to the Talos principle. So now what else do they have, Grizz? Destiny 2 freaking DLC was announced, which we've kind of already discussed. And
Resident Evil 4 VR, Cap.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, got that.
Coming.
And then
Spider-Man 2
finally got its gameplay trailer.
Yeah.
So
tell you what, that does look pretty sick though. Like,
yeah,
looks pretty good. I reckon.
Yeah, look, again, I'm not really I'm not a superhero guy, so it does not interest me in the slightest. But I think a lot of people are pretty excited about Peter Parker getting some symbiote powers and some other shit going on in that game. So if you're a Spider-Man 2 fan, I think you're gonna be pretty stoked to be in it one. I mean, the first party Spider-Man games recently have been really good. So well, from what I hear. So there you go. But yeah. Anyways, that was the showcase. That was the entirety.
That was good. Yeah, I like that.
So here we freaking go. Now, look, that's the episode. That's it. We have rapid fires, but I mean we've been going for long enough, and look, most of the rapid fires that we were going to talk about are pretty much from the week before anyway. But yeah, got a real quick rapid fire. Freaking Lord of the Ring Golem was horrific.
Let's just do that one.
Nicolas Cage was announced as coming as a playable character in Dead by Daylight.
Oh my fucking
Tears of the
God.
Kingdom has sold 10 million copies in the first 3 days. The EU has cleared Microsoft acquisition of AKB. Steam is now offering 90-minute game trials. Amazon and Embracer Group has struck a deal on developing a Lord of the Rings MMO, another one. Mortal Kombat 1 was announced. Death Stranding was free on Epic Games. There's more Super Mario Advance games coming to Nintendo Switch Online. Elden Ring won a Nebula Award for game writing. You can stream the games on the NVIDIA Shield for Xbox. Fortnite has announced and rolled out ranked matchmaking and Quidditch Champions gameplay leaked. See if we can go. There's your freaking rapid fire.
Getting some people in the chat, Cap, saying Cat Quest. We didn't talk about Cat Quest in the reveal.
Yeah,
apparently,
I think Cat Quest is like a Diablo-esque kind of thing, but I don't know. It didn't. It looks fine. It just looks like a cutesy kind of Diablo thing. But I just, you know what? I just don't like pirates.
What?
As a game theme.
Oh, what the fuck? I was going to say your Twitch channel was like revolves around pirates.
Yeah, mate. I know. But as a game theme, the only pirate game I've really liked is probably Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and that was like I can't think of any other pirate game.
Sea of Thieves had
even
potential.
Sea of Thieves, it was okay.
It had potential.
Yeah, I don't know. Sea of Thieves.
I don't think we've had a good game that's done pirates justice yet.
Stuff of Sea of Thieves. I didn't really like Sea of Thieves as its own pirate thing. You know what I mean? I liked the game elements of Sea of Thieves. But yeah, if I'm talking about games that were pirate based that I thought were rad, the only one I can think of is Black Flag. And yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, there you go.
No one at my work listens to this podcast. Don't tell my boss, Cap. I might chuck a sickie on Friday and play Diablo 4.
Already posted to all of our socials, mate. Sorry. That is going live.
They're not on the socials either. They're not on the socials either, mate. It's fine. It's all good.
Yeah, well, if you do that, I will watch you because I'm not going to buy the Mad Dog edition to get on early, but I will absolutely watch you on Twitch. If you
It'll be hardcore. So, you know.
Wait, so will you stream if you're going to pull a ciggy?
Yeah, I will. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
I hope my boss doesn't find out. Also streaming on Twitch.
Twitch.tv, baby.
Yeah. Well, I mean, talking about Twitch.tv, you can watch this podcast every Monday from 7 p.m. AWST. We're streaming it live right now with a bunch of other freaking legends. Thanks for the raids to here we have Aussie Noob and Jazz Cook. You guys freaking rock. New listeners and whatever else. Thanks for sticking by and having a bit of a listen to the podcast. Sukai, Troy. Who else we got in here? Jim, you bloody legend. We also had one Dennis. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. You got numbers in your name. You never know whether to pronounce the numbers individually or leet speak it. So I just went with the leet speak. There you go. A bunch of other freaking rippers.
We got 3 subs as well. We are now affiliates, Cap.
We've been affiliated with the Twitch.tv freaking guys. So there you go.
So thanks Sukai, Grizzly, and Pavlovaface. God damn. What legends.
So we got 1 sub.
Well, mine was a prime, so you know.
Classic. Now, we also broadcast this on all the major podcasting platforms. Would bloody appreciate it if you could drop a review if you're listening to us from home. And we'd appreciate it if you could tell someone about us. Don't care who it is, just tell them. Probably someone you think might like it. But yeah, tell someone about us. Now, if you want to become a patron, you can do so by going to patreon.com/OGR show. And you too can pay us money for pretty much no damn good reason, but you will get your name called out at the beginning of the show. So that's pretty good value. Outside of that, we got twitter.com/OGR show. We do a poll every week. So if you want to vote in that poll, go and do that. We also have a Discord that you can talk shop about video games. We ask you how your gaming's been going for the week every week. So, keep an eye out for that post in the Discord. Just go and check out the description of this podcast or check it out in our Twitch chat right now. And you'll find a link to the Discord there. Or we've got a link tree as well. Link tr.ee/OGR show, and all the links are freaking sitting in there. So go and click a bunch of links. But yeah, other than that, that's about everything. Pending no more illnesses in my family, we'll be back to broadcasting again next Monday. So keep an eye on that. And yeah, that's everything from me. Anything from you boys?
All good from me, Pavo.
Yeah, Pav.
No, he's saying
he's happy. He's like, fucking let me go to bed. That's
all
basically what
good.
that translated to. But yeah, anyways, we'll see you guys next time on the Oceanic Gaming Radio Podcast. Thanks for being here, and thanks for consuming us. Appreciate you.
That's it.
Banger. Nice.
Banger.
Nice,
yeah,
boys.
Yeah, guys, well done.
Solid.
Very
That was a good
well
one.
done.
Good fun.
Yeah. No, great.
Right.
Um,
Title. Give me the title, boys.
Idle.
um,
I meant to test the sub button, not thinking it would go all the way through. I was gonna
Dude,
do
we
it
got
at the end.
emotes, mate. Look at these fucking OGR emotes.
A couple.
Wait, do we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fuck? Yeah,
Look
let's
at
go.
that.
And this sick little
That's
green
sick.
hype man.
That was the default one. I'll delete that.
Oh,
Okay. I'm liking what I'm seeing. That's sick. Okay. Sweet. Big fan of that.
that was quick, Pav. Well done.
Thanks.
Now, what was I going to say, boys? Maybe literally something clickbaity, like the PlayStation, the PlayStation Showcase 2023 highlights.
Yeah.
Is that clickbait?
What did you miss from the PlayStation highlights? One thing you missed
One thing you missed
from the
us
PlayStation
talking about the
Showcase.
highlights. Did you miss this in the PlayStation Showcase?
That's the
Yeah.
way to do it, though. Seriously.
Grizzly's controversial take on the
Yeah. Shall we do a Grizzlies controversial take?
yeah.
Fuck you guys. I don't mind you getting me cancelled. It's fine.
What were
Surely
you
we
cancelled
cancelled that.
Actually, guys, I don't think these games are just coming to PlayStation. Wait a second.
Could be it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Grizzlies controversial take on PlayStation Showcase.
On the PlayStation Showcase. Yeah, I'm all over that. That's
Yeah,
the best.
that's it.
That is the
You
best.
motherfuckers. I like it though.
Yeah.
Well,
Now, I'm
episode
going to fucking
57.
skedaddle, so I'm going to let you guys do a raid.
All right, mate. That's all good. Who do you want to raid, Pav?
I reckon Cuzbot. They're doing a Perth collab at the moment, and he's also one of the folks over at another local Twitch podcast called
Hell
The
yeah.
Loser Table. So I reckon we go
Yeah,
say
do
good day to
that.
him.
And yeah, in fact, let's do that. Let's absolutely do that.
Is he playing Tom Clancy's Siege right now?
Yeah, they're all playing Siege.
Freaking rad. Well, I'm going to scoot. So thanks for being here, everyone. And I'll see you guys later. You guys don't need anything from me, do you?
All right, all over it.
All right. Love you guys. Peace out. Bye.
Bye.
I have kicked Le Raid off as well.
Oh, you already did it. Solid.
Done it. Thank you, Twitch chat. I love your work, guys. Tune to Grizzly Gaming 86 on Friday, 9 a.m., baby, for a little bit of Diablo 4 action. We're going to be making warriors, going to be throwing rocks on people's heads. It's going to be fucking great. Pav, what class would you play if you had to play Diablo 4, mate? You know?
Before Necromancer.
Necro. Okay.
Is Necromancer there?
Blood man.
I
Yeah,
don't
he's there. Yeah.
Because I usually play Sorcerer, so
Okay.
yeah, I reckon I'd mix it up with the Necromancer.
I'm going to kick this raid in the titties.
Yeah, let's do it.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Done.